there not? All that there is came from the one great. Then came fractures, and births, and souls. For the greater will made a mistake. Torment, despair, affliction, every sin, every curse, every one born of the mistake. Deny not the lives, the new births of this world. Those who would are not fit to be called Lord, when the land they preside over is lifeless. Those who gave me grace howled without words, saying they wished they were never born. Become their lord, take their torment, despair, their affliction, every sin, every curse, and melt it all away. As the Lord of Chaos, no more fractures, no more birth.
Embarking on the journey through creation myths unveils a universal yearning to fathom the origins of the cosmos. In the realms of Elden Ring and the Japanese Shinto creation story, an intricate parallel surfaces, hinting at a nuanced connection between the one great and the primordial beings of Shinto belief, namely Amatsu-Mikaboshi, that unravels the tapestry of both mythologies. Today we discern resonances of cosmic order, chaos, and the cyclical dance of creation. The Japanese creation story unfolds within silent chaos, where particles and light perform a celestial dance shaping the universe. The plane of high heaven, born from lighter particles, and earth, a mass below, set the stage for the emergence of the Amatsu-Kami, the first wave of primordial beings, Zoka-Sanshin, the genderless gods of creation, and the 7 generations of Kami, or gods that followed the Amatsu-Kami. The story encapsulates the interplay of cosmic forces, mirroring Elden Ring's cosmogony with its theme of life, death, and rebirth. Notably, the Hitorigami, lone gods born from the primordial soup of the cosmos, parallel the outer gods of Elden Ring in their origin, lacking a distinct physical form and traditional gender distinctions. The Shinto story introduces Izanagi and Izanami, akin to the Empyreans in Elden Ring, wherein primordial gods confer power onto others to transform them into gods, such as the Greater Will in Elden Ring do for Marika. The Amatsu-Kami are the primordial gods of Shinto belief, and the outer gods are the primordial beings of the universe in Elden Ring. The intricate web of parallels suggests a connection between Shinto and Elden Ring's cosmology, raising intriguing questions about the role of the One Great, the Outer Gods, and Marika. Amatsu-Mikaboshi, a celestial entity associated with the night sky, stars, and sometimes chaos, mirrors the intricate dance of forces in the Shinto creation story. Its malevolent aspect suggests cosmic discord, yet its link to the celestial realm implies connection to cosmic harmony and order as well. The ambiguity in its nature, whether entity or force of nature, adds layers to its role as a representation of cosmic forces governing the universe. Clarifying misconceptions, Amatsu-Mikaboshi may not strictly be a kami, but rather a force shaping and governing the universe. This nuanced interpretation underscores the intricate nature of Japanese mythology and belief systems, wherein entities embody natural forces more than rigid concepts of good and evil. This complexity serves as a potential wellspring of inspiration for the Frenzied Flame in Elden Ring. Amatsu-Mikaboshi's rebellion against other kami, its defeat, and its association with cosmic forces could have inspired the Frenzied Flame, which seems to have been connected to the One Great. The flame summoned by those who seek it reflects themes of rebellion, destruction, and rebirth, mirroring the natural aspects of the universe in the Shinto tradition. The Shinto pantheon lacks a strict dualistic nature of good and evil, much like Elden Ring's universe where the Frenzied Flame and Shabriri represent rebellion, destruction, and rebirth rather than necessarily malevolence. The pursuit of unity by burning away everything aligns with Amatsu-Mikaboshi's essence. The concept of the One Great possibly fracturing again echoes the Shinto belief in the cyclical nature of the universe. Parallels extend beyond mythology, as Amatsu-Mikaboshi's adaptation in Marvel portrays similar chaotic and unifying tendencies seen in the Frenzied Flame and Shabriri, further emphasizing the cultural universality of these themes. Elden Ring introduces the enigmatic One Great, whose fracturing spawns outer gods aiming to influence the lands between. Whether the One Great represents an entity or a state of non-existence, life and death originate from its fractures, echoing the Shinto belief that lone gods emerged from nothingness. The Frenzied Flame, potentially an outer god or its manifestation, seeks to correct the perceived mistake of the Greater Will's fracturing, promising to burn the world away until unity is restored. This cosmic intent echoes Shinto creation themes, suggesting a parallel between a peaceful era before the arrival of the Shinto kami and the desire to erase the fractures from the One Great in Elden Ring. The Hitorigami hiding after giving rise to the kami finds resonance with the outer gods concealing themselves in Elden Ring, hinting at deeper connections between the narratives. When the Hitorigami give rise to the first male and female kami, including Izanagi and Izanami, they become self-aware and hide themselves away, and thus the kami then watch over the cosmos in their place. Perhaps something similar occurred when the One Great fractured, as the outer gods live outside the lands between, and appear to possibly even exist in a separate realm or realms of reality, and as such, this may be a strong parallel between the Hitorigami and the outer gods. The connection is pertinent because the outer gods of Elden Ring, like the Hitorigami, are technically genderless, and they were born from the One Great itself, it would seem, whereas other characters we consider gods or characters having the potential to become gods like Empyreans can still be born from male and female parents, and thus I would connect them to Marika, as she became a god and gave birth to several demigods, though that power was originally conferred to her by an even higher power. While Empyreans are still a contentious topic, it would seem that someone, if they meet the qualifications, can be granted the status of Empyrean and the title of a god. But this is a status that seemingly must be conferred by a greater power. For Marika, it's the Greater Will. For Izanami and Izanagi, it was the Hitorigami. The Hitorigami are the lone gods, and Elden Ring's true gods reside alone outside the lands between. The exact details and characterizations of Amatsu-Mikaboshi are very cloudy or unclear to say the least, as he or it is rarely if ever mentioned in any of the typically referenced texts of East Asian mythology. He is mentioned in passing in the Nihon Shoki as an opponent of Takemikazuchi no Kami during the latter's conquest of the land Izumo, and is sometimes identified with the figure of Takeminakata in the Kojiki. From what can be gleaned and pieced together from ancient Japanese myths, the Mikaboshi is not a physical god in the sense like Amaterasu or Susanoo, but a dark force that existed before the universe, reigning alone in absolute darkness and control. Something happened, however, and in one brief instance, the iron control of the dark force of the Mikaboshi was shattered by the movement of In and Yo, which brought forth the universe in the active chaos of life and movement, which later became the gods and humanity. The solidity of the primordial darkness had been destroyed, but its residue still lingered on in the hearts of all beings and is allegedly the cause of human passions. This may again connect to Shabriri and the Frenzied Flame, as Shabriri is the first person in the history of the Lands Between to summon the Frenzied Flame and commune with the Three Fingers. And it would seem that the Frenzied Flame acts as a maddening blight upon mortality, corrupting inhabitants of the Lands Between just as mortals were corrupted by Amatsu-Mikaboshi, instilling a desire to burn it all away and return to dark, peaceful nothingness. The Frenzied Flame acts as a remnant of the One Great that wishes to return to unity and solidarity, and is either the only entity or force that it still remembers the time before life and death, before the One Great was divided, or is simply the only force that wishes to return to the time of the One Great, an emissary of the One Great, just as the Elden Beast in the Elden Ring is the emissary of the Greater Will. The Greater Will may see itself as the one true god, though the Frenzied Flame disagrees with this notion, as all comes from the One Great originally. I also wonder how Shabriri's name, coming from a Hebrew demon that causes blindness, fits into it. And Shabriri also covers his eyes when he has taken control of Yura's body. Perhaps it's a subtle reference to the primordial darkness Shabriri, and even Hayeta, are seeking to return to. The idea of the Mikaboshi as the god of evil is slightly a misnomer. However, as the Mikaboshi is not a Japanese Satan figure or anything of the sort, it originated as an antithesis to the positive forces of life in Shinto, thus its lack of a singular form. It is a force of absolute domination that feeds off of human emotions that, if left unchecked, result in social, emotional, or physical destruction. For instance, a desire for success can lead to greed and lust for power, which is the result of the influence of Mikaboshi's residue. Love for another can lead to obsession or jealousy, which is also a result of these dark influences. This strongly connects to how we see adherents of the Frenzied Flame in the One Great Behaven game, as the influence of the Frenzied Flame drives them to madness. In later centuries, certain creatures that are by nature dark or demonic were said to be connected to the Mikaboshi in a sort of slave relationship to its power. Souls that died with strong attachments and came back to hurt the living were said to have become physical agents to the Mikaboshi's force in a more direct way than simple greed or lust when living. And such creatures such as Oni, Ama-no-jaku, and demons were also results of certain natural elements falling prey to passions fed by the Mikaboshi's temptations. This may again connect to Elden Ring, as Shibriri and Hayata take over the bodies of those who have died, such as Yura and Irina, and this may connect to the fact that these are two people that have a strong connection to the One Great and the Frenzied Flame, and as such, their souls have lived on long beyond their bodies. The ultimate goal, it is said, was to absolutely destroy everything by dissolving it back into chaos, whereby the static, controlling power of the Mikaboshi could return. Someone on DeviantArt who goes by the name RexBlazer1 also had a great take on the character and story of Amatsu-Mikaboshi. Namely, he said he was the original resident of Japan, but when the other gods and humans started moving in, he felt as though they were invading his territory. Then he decided that the whole world was actually his territory, and that nobody else had a place in it. So he works in the shadows trying to get everyone to kill each other off. That way, when we're all dead and gone, he can have it all to himself. It's his actions that help set off the story, though not in an obvious way. So to me, this strongly resonates with what we know about the Frenzied Flame, Shibriri, and the One Great, as this rebellious nature to destroy and revert everything to its original state is present in both Shinto stories as well as Elden Ring. I'm genuinely impressed by the extensive lore woven around Mikaboshi, though it's disheartening how much of it is built on unsubstantiated claims. This doesn't come as a surprise, though, considering the nature of the internet. The majority of information on this deity lacks proper sources, necessitating a thorough search to uncover the scant truths. Remarkably little is known about him. He appears as a rebellious star god defeated by the gods of Takamagahara to secure unopposed rule over Japan. Given his likely role as the sole star kami, coupled with an association with Venus, Mikaboshi emerges as a Japanese counterpart to the Western concept of Lucifer, a rebellious figure resisting foreign godly occupation, perhaps symbolizing a struggle for national liberation. What remains puzzling is the motivation behind this narrative choice. In the context of Japan, one can only speculate that rebellion is perceived as inherently evil in their traditional culture. As for the Western perspective, it seems there may be a desperate attempt to align the mythical Mikaboshi with the Marvel Comics version, perhaps driven by a desire for familiarity or conformity. The convergence of the One Great, Amatsu-Mikaboshi, and the Frenzied Flame in Elden Ring and Shinto unveils enduring themes of creation, chaos, and cosmic harmony. This exploration transcends the confines of mythological retellings, delving into the very essence of human understanding and our perennial curiosity about the cosmos and our place in its infinite vastness. The echoes of the Shinto creation story in Elden Ring enhance the narrative tapestry, offering a profound appreciation for the intricate parallels that transcend cultural boundaries.